Hello, powerful one. Welcome to this edition of Inner Growth to Sezwa Elime. On this very edition, we are taking a look at the thought pattern that you need to erase right now for you to have that dream life. I need you to understand one thing, that there is so much goodness in life, that life is so beautiful, and that until you begin to feel beautiful about life, until you begin to be in harmony with every form, every side, every character that life is presenting before you, you can never ever experience the goodness of life. There is no such thing as a bad life. We only have bad experiences of life. And that bad experience is a product of our thoughts. A thinking pattern that is selfish, that goes against the tide of life, will bring about a negative life experience, what you will call bad life experience. And these experiences do not come as punishment, they come as reflections, because it is what you put before the mirror that is reflected back to you. It is what you sow that you reap. You can't get it otherwise. A lot of us are reaping the negativities we have sown by way of actions of people towards them, and they think that the world is being unfair, that people are being unfair. It is always not so. So, what is this thought pattern that we need to erase for us to live a better life? I'm sure you already had an idea of what it is. Well, we will talk about that in just a moment. I am Osezwa Anthony Elime. You know me. I am in the game of helping you grow from inside out. That is the dream. You're welcome back. Isn't that always the deal? For you to grow from inside out. Because every growth that is worth it begins from the inside. You are a seed of life, and life begins from your inside, not from your outside. So, what are we saying? Stop looking for the perfect life from others. Stop looking for the perfect life outside. Stop looking for fulfillment outside. Growth begins with you. It begins from your inside. If you instigate it, it will happen. And you can only go inside to do that. So, that said, what is this thinking or thought pattern that we need to erase for that ideal life of our dreams? Let me first of all state here that every prayer that we pray are answered. Every prayer you have prayed from the day you were born till date have all been answered. It is a different thing if you're receiving the answers. That is your own part of the game, to allow the answers to flow to you, to give room for it. That is key. It has to do with vibrational alignment. Are you aligned with the answers you are seeking from life? That is the question that requires very serious answering. But of course, every time you are aligned, alignment is the basis of life. If you align with life, life flows with you in that way you align with it. Sometimes the things you desire require a certain form of alignment, and you pray to have them, and you are not aligned with the path through which that thing will come to you. They will come, but you will not see them. There are millions of corridors, there are millions of paths in life. But you see, it is the one that you are open to, the one you will find yourself in, that you will be able to see what is on them. If you are on a corridor of lack and you pray and wish to have abundance, and you are perpetually staying on the path of lack in your thought patterns, you are not going to see the abundance that comes. Even if it comes to the very mouth of the path, and you are standing next to it, you will not see it, because your attention, your focus is not on abundance, it is focused on lack. That is a different discussion entirely. So what is the pattern that we need to handle now? Because it is this thought pattern that actually directs our focus. And this is it, my friend. People must behave the way I approve for me to respect them, for me to love them, for me to align and be happy with them. That is a thought pattern. It looks innocuous, it looks normal, because a lot of us have been raised with this kind of thoughts at home, growing up. If you please dad, if you please mom, if you please uncle, if you please aunt, they give you things. They sing your praises, right? And if you misbehave, if you hurt them, they will deal with you, they will punish you. So we have been raised to this understanding that we must toe the lines of the adult world around us for us to find connection, for us to find peace, for us to find progress with them, for us to find acceptance with them. And then we have grown with that mindset and decided that, without consciously deciding, it just happens automatically, that people must behave in line with our expectations for us to have our love. Nobody is saying that when people offend you, you should go and give them gifts or anything. That's not what we're saying. But we are saying that when people offend you, when people behave below par against you, the first thing you have to do is to come to the understanding that if they knew better, they wouldn't do what they did. It's for you to look at it from another perspective and say, oh, here is another interesting perspective on life. It does not mean that the people who have behaved that way are evil. It is just the way they have manifested their being, their understanding of life. How are you also sure that your vibration has not aligned with that aspect of life that these people are capable of manifesting? That is why they are acting that way towards you. There are people who elicit different responses from different friends in their lives. Friends see these people as wonderful, as reliable. Same friends, on other side, see them as unreliable, as dubious. A lot of things. Somebody might be dubious. I remember I had a mechanic that was most dubious. Oh my goodness. That guy wrecked my car. I will pay him money to service my car. He will come and pick the car in my office, take it to his workshop, bring it back, and put an empty jerry can of a particular high-grade 100% synthetic oil that I was buying for my car. He would drop it in the boot to show me that he had actually serviced it. But of course, he never did. Until the car had a problem 18 months later, and he was not available where the problem happened. And somebody else came to check it. He realized that that car had not been serviced since I bought it. But I trusted him. I was kind to him, but he dealt with me. But guess what? Somebody recommended that mechanic to me. And to that person, this mechanic is flawless. Because as at the last time I asked that guy, that mechanic still worked for him. This is 2022. I'm talking about a mechanic that dealt with me as far back as 2009. That was when it happened. This guy has kept that mechanic till date. And I have other people, colleagues in my office, who say, oh, you gave that crook your car, too bad. Yet, how are we saying it? This mechanic has an ambivalent nature. He has a nature that suits certain people. It's a mirror effect. You get from life what you give to life. And to go beyond that, subsequent mechanics I got that were introduced to me by friends who said, this mechanic is not good for you, get this one. Each time I got a mechanic recommended to me, the mechanic would work well for the first maybe 1 month. After that, they go back to the same pattern that I was used to with other mechanics. At some point, I began to think, are you sure it is not I who am the problem? I don't think it's these mechanics. I didn't even know any of these things I know now. Then I was just living my life with some air of I was trying to be a good person, to be nice to people, not to be insulting to people and all of that, because I always knew that niceness is the best policy, kindness is the best policy. But they were hitting me on the reverse. I got it from everywhere until it began to hit me in the last 4 years, that every experience I have got from people, I created them, and they became the right agents to deliver those experiences to me. Whatever you want in life, whatever you have created in life through your thinking pattern, there will be human beings, there will be agents of life who are ready to deliver those packages to you. It's just for you to stay aligned to that particular experience. So how do we stay aligned to negative experiences of life? One, this thing that they call data. You know, when you talk about research, you have to have sufficient data to be able to come up with a conclusion, right? That's what we learned in research. Okay. Now, if somebody misbehaves, a particular kind of person does a particular kind of thing that you don't like, maybe once or twice, or maybe even say thrice, you conclude that people of this nature or this particular person is like this. When you create that, you have created a monster in that form. Because the human being is energy, and energy can have its form changed. And how does the form of an energy change? By the thought we visited to that energy. Therefore, if our thought interprets the energy as negative, the energy will be negative only in relation to us, not in relation to other energies. Because if other energies see that energy as salubrious, as beautiful, as helpful, it remains so. There are people who have been married to a particular spouse. The marriage breaks, and this spouse go to other spouses and they got married. They had better lives in those marriages than when they were with this particular spouse. It has nothing to do with how the spouse treated them, so to say. You can be nice and not get the right treatment from people. When your niceness has an undertone of fear, you are nice because you don't want people to be nasty towards you. That is a very weak niceness. Men who are nice to ladies because they want the ladies to see them as worthy, to see them as good enough, we never get the right side of those ladies. I have seen cranky ladies, crazy ladies who have settled down with men and they had a good relationship. What is leading to that is so simple. The man brought the right mental attitude that suited that lady, and the lady broke. It is not about force. It's about you changing your attitude, and most attitude that we manifest are product of our levels of self-esteem. We keep stories going on. You know, when you see those attitude from people, when you see those actions from certain people, you say this is what they are. This is how they are. When you define people like that, they will remain like that. There are these kind of people who are good at boxing people into an experience that they have with them. Find out that these people never leave that experience. They keep manifesting that experience towards them only, or not to other people. If you want a life that is good, if you want a life that is beautiful, first you must be good to yourself by the way you think. And when you are good to yourself, you have good thoughts towards other people. And when they err, you will excuse them in their errors because you know better. You know, sometimes we men are taught that don't go after women when you don't have money. Make the money and then you get the woman. You've heard that before. It was made popular by Tony Montana of Scarface. You first of all get the money and then you get the woman. An error. There are so many men who have the money, yet they never get the women. The only women they get are the women they throw money at. And they are never able to win these women. Money can never win the heart of a woman. It can win her body, but not her heart, not her soul, not her cooperation. If you want to win any human being at all, if you want to win anything in life, any good thing in life, you must earn it. And by earning it, it means that you must align your vibrational frequency to the frequency of goodness. Forget about the person. Elevate your frequency to the highest possible. And then anything, anybody within your space, whether it is at your frequency or lower that you desire, you will pull the person to your life. It's about changing your thought pattern. It is your thought pattern that determines your frequency, or should we say your frequency determines your thought pattern? Okay, look at it this way. It is your thought pattern that creates a frequency. All right? You just can't find yourself in a frequency and start thinking like that. No, it is thought that takes you there. When you have thought patterns that are benevolent towards life, it means you readily excuse the weaknesses of people and move beyond it. If you can't move beyond the errors of people, you are going to consistently have people manifest their errors towards you. And it's worse when you define people on the basis of their mistakes or their sins towards you, and they will remain like that. You know why they remain like that? They may want to change. They may regret their actions. But because you keep the story going in your mind, when you think about it, that's what comes to your mind. That is how you are going to keep them. They will find that in as much as they want to be nice to you, they want to erase the past and create a new future with you, they really are not able to do it. They just find themselves falling and falling and falling whenever your name is mentioned, whenever your situation presents itself. Why? Because that is the image that you have created of them for yourself. There are people who churn stories about certain people. Women are this. I keep telling people, do not ever box any gender into any pattern that is unsavory. Because if you do it, that is the kind of life you are going to be getting from those people. Men who feel that they must have money to be able to have women and control them will only attract women that are materialistic. In other words, they are going to have whores as their consorts from time to time. And they will begin to wonder why. Yes, because you cannot throw money at life. No, you must sort the game of life. First of all, heal yourself of your old patterns. Heal yourself of your past experiences. People must not meet your standard for them to be right, for them to be ideal partners in life. People will err, yes, but you stay firm and faithful. Your faithfulness and firmness will condition the people to behave towards you the way you want. There are people who are nasty towards everybody else. They have very nasty attitude. But you see that there are some people that they come into contact with, they are very nice. They are very kind and great. Why is it so? Because those people to whom they are kind and nice are very well structured. They have defined their lives after a pattern. Now, there are people who cannot travel all the way from Lagos to Benin, for example, on the highway. They must have issues with police officers regarding their particulars or road safety officer, all those kind of things. Yet, there are people who will drive the same road every single day without policemen stopping them to ask them silly questions or anything. They just greet them. How are you doing? If they even stop, they say, how is the road you are coming from? Everything okay? Right now, they gist and they just move on. They even ask, how are your papers? Say they are intact, officer. Fantastic. Go on. You know, that's what you have. I traveled that road in the last 1 year, but I have never had the reason to bring out my particulars to show them. I just tell them my particulars and you know that they just say go on, because number one, my particulars are always in order. And when I have done that, which I think are required of me, I leave the rest to life. I just trust. And when I am passing the road and I come across these officers, what comes to my mind is that these guys are in the sun, morning till night, working to ensure that our roads are safer. That's the feeling I have towards them, and I feel that they need to be respected. And I get to them, love is beaming in my heart, and I smile at them. They just tell me, go. Sometimes I greet them, I hail them, and they tell me, go. That is what I do. What you give to life is what you get. There was a time some guy that I put in my car was wondering, how are you doing it? These policemen are not this nice. I said, yes, they are not this nice because you also are not so nice. You pull from them the attitude you give to them. If you show love to any being, any human being, there is nothing in life that does not respond favorably towards love. And I tell you what, love does not require that others align with their ways, that others align with their thinking. No. Love is about liberation. When you love people, you set them free. Allow them the right to be themselves. If that thing that they see as themselves at that time of thinking is negative, all well and good for them, but don't accept the negative for them. Don't say, this guy is a fool. This guy is a dupe. This other one is a whore. That one is a liar. The other one is a thief. You don't do that. Because if you label people, you have created them in your world. That is what you have created, and they will manifest. Because when you see them, the energy that you visit onto them is that of what you have defined them as. Therefore, they will manifest that way towards you. I want to tell you one thing. You have no right to destroy God's creations. You have no right to hurt any being in creation. Hurting people is not just when you take a knife or you take a dagger or you take anything to them. No. The greatest injury you can do to people is how you think about them. If you think negatively about people, you are destroying them, because you are not leaving them the opportunity to fully express their goodness towards you, because you will keep, by your definition, forcing that negative aspect of them towards you whenever they are with you. It's not a joke. This is the reality of life. That's why the scripture says, to the pure, all things are pure. But to those who are not pure, nothing is pure. A lot of the times, it is our injuries from our past experiences of life that we are visiting out on people when they misbehave. Imagine this. If my hand is this whole, as you can see, very whole hands, right? Healthy, blessed, beautiful hands. If you were to touch me like this or tap me like this, will I feel pains? No. But imagine if I had a deep cut on this hand. I'm sure you can't even come close. If you touch me here, I am going to cringe with pain. Now, this is what happens to all of us. People can misbehave, but their misbehavior cannot hurt us if we already are not carrying injuries along with us. People who are bruised, who are bleeding, are the people who are sensitive towards the errors and sins of others. They just can't take it. So it is not the sin of these people, it is their own errors. And then when they look at people, they imagine patterns. Your love and empathy can go a long way to set right the negativity of other people. Your love can change the negative trajectory of any human life. This is what happens. You become a springboard of change. People come into contact with you and they experience a new vibrancy, a new way of life. And they find themselves readdressing their attitude to life and begin to change. Not you carrying a predetermined opinion, a predetermined attitude towards people and say, human beings are like this, this is what they will do. People who always do that and they predict rightly, they are not predicting. Okay, they are not predicting, they are constructing. It is creation. We are always creating with our thought, and there is no way life will go against our pattern of thoughts. If you expect a different life, you want people to be nice towards you, to be kind towards you, to be romantic towards you, you must give them the opportunity to be that by giving them the same thing you want from them. Allowance, freedom, liberty in your thought towards them, in your expectations towards them. This is the goal of our lives. Your pattern must reflect the life you want to get. Until you change your pattern, you will keep meeting people who will keep stepping on your injuries. Or how do you change your pattern? First of all, heal yourself. Make peace with your past, with all the agents of your past. There are videos on this channel that talk about that, but I am going to do another video, God willing, on healing your past, healing yourself, removing all the wounds, so that wherever anybody touches in you will not lead to you cringing. Doesn't matter how they touch you. Somebody can come and touch, hey friend, how are you? It can still offend you if there is a pain there. The person comes and taps it very hard and say, hey friend, how are you? You will cringe more and you even want to fight the person. It's always not about the action of the other person. It's about the state of my mind, the state of my being. Injuries from the past are very dangerous to the present. Heal them and the present will be more beautiful. That's all I can tell you. Do you have the power to heal yourself? Yes, you do. That's why you are a very powerful being. God bless you.